welcome to the January 18th meeting of the Raleigh Parks Greenway Recreation Advisor. I think I got those in the wrong order, but Advisory Board meeting. Glad to see all of you all here in 2024. And so we will get this meeting going. Do we have any public comment? Anybody in the public want to speak? All right. Well, then I know that we have our president and vice president of the Raleigh Youth Council here, and if you all will come up and tell us what you have been doing in the intervening time. We haven't had a presentation from you since November, so I am sure there will be a lot to hear.
So, hello. Hope you guys had an amazing holiday and Happy New Year. So, my name is London Evans, and I'm chair of the Raleigh Youth Council.
And my name is Paris Evans. I'm the vice chair of the Raleigh Youth Council.
So, in November, we met with the staff at Dix Park to brainstorm ideas for possible future teen events at Dix Park. So, this event was a great opportunity in which we were able to advocate for activities that teens are interested in. We also supported the Coats Cause We Care coat giveaway at Courtney T. Johnson Community Center. On December 2nd, we hosted our annual Santa's Workshop event at Apis Creek Community Center. We served about 65 youth at this event. They got to make crafts and take photos with Santa and Mrs. Claus. On December 9th at Roberts Park, we hosted our annual Toys from Teens event. At this event, participants made crafts, took photos with the Grinch and Santa, got hot cocoa, and received a wrap gift. We were able to give out about 200 toys this year, which is our biggest year yet.
To start off the 2024 year, our first meeting was about goal setting. We did an activity where we created 24 RYC-specific goals and arranged them in the form of a bingo card. Every time we get bingo, the council will be rewarded. Later this month, we will volunteer at the food bank for a warehouse packaging project. We will also be bringing back our Valentine's dance. This dance will be from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. on February 3rd at JC Community Center. This dance is a partnership with Specialized Recreation and Inclusion Services for teens and adults with disabilities or special needs. On the weekend of February 9th through the 11th, 16 of our members will travel to Concord, North Carolina for the 2024 State Youth Council's Team Building and Leadership Conference. And that is all for today.
Great, thank you. Do any board members have any questions or follow-up? So I know that the dance that you do at JC, that is always a big hit. And
Yes,
so
ma'am.
thank you for doing that. That creates a really special opportunity for
You're
folks.
welcome.
So thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. The next item on our agenda is the Raleigh Sustainable Business Toolkit. And I think we have folks from the Sustainability Office presenting on that. But I don't have a name. Hi.
Hi, good evening. So yeah, I'm going to pull this presentation up. I'm Kenzie Winslow. I work in the Office of Sustainability. Thanks for having us, and my colleague Jason Harden is here too. So yeah, this evening I'm going to be telling you about what we call our Sustainable Business Toolkit that we've developed in our office. So for some context, first a quick look at what we think about when we think about sustainability here in Raleigh. We have what we call our Community Climate Action Plan, which is our plan and our path to reducing greenhouse gas emissions, particularly in our largest emitting sectors like energy use, transportation, and waste. We're also thinking about building community resilience and supporting climate equity through our plan. And while we're addressing all of these issues and pursuing these goals, we're going to see a lot of far-reaching benefits, such as having a more social and pedestrian-friendly city, as well as improving community health and other benefits. So we're going to look at our toolkit today, which is a guide of existing programs that can help businesses, nonprofits, other organizations do lots of things. They're programs hosted by the City of Raleigh, by the state, by the county, as well as other community organizations. And so the goal of the toolkit is to help businesses reach or set new sustainability goals, save some money, become more energy efficient, be recognized for their sustainability efforts, and get more involved in their community. So we're going to do a quick run through of all of the programs in there. There's a ton of content. You're going to get a pretty high level overview of all of those programs. And if you're curious about one of them in particular, I'm happy to share with you what I know at the end, or provide some resources that you could further look into it. So just keep in mind as you're listening to all of these programs, if there's anyone that you know that owns a business or someone like that could benefit from programs like these.
Excuse me, you said there's a what now?
Sorry.
Last part of that? The last part of what you just said? Repeat that, please.
Yeah, I'll switch back to, I don't need the slide. Yeah, there's lots of programs that are available to like businesses. Yeah. Sorry, can you? Yeah, so as you're listening, these are going to be programs that can benefit businesses, individuals, schools, apartments, like on the slide right now. So just keeping in mind, like if there's anything that like sparks interest, like who you could share this with. Gotcha. Sorry about that. But like I just said, while we call it our Sustainable Business Toolkit, it can benefit places like schools, apartments, homeowners, as there's a really wide variety of programs in the toolkit. We're going to jump into the toolkit and run through some programs. The first category of programs is ones that would be applicable to buildings undergoing significant renovations or new developments. First, we have the Building Upfit Grant, which is available right now, actually, until the end of the month. It's a grant program that pays for commercial interior improvements, so helping businesses create a more attractive space and serve more customers. So it can fund things like HVAC, flooring, kitchen upgrades, or even completely rethinking spaces. Similarly, there's a facade rehab grant, which deals with like the exteriors of buildings, so making them more attractive to customers from the street, so funding things like new sidings or awnings, lighting, windows, and other aesthetic improvements. The last one in this category is called the Green Raleigh Review. It's a program that offers expedited and no-cost review for site plans that include green stormwater infrastructure elements, so things like permeable pavement, green roofs like you see in the picture, or things like additional trees. And we're going to hear a little bit more about stormwater programs later. Next, we have programs that deal with commuting and transportation options. Like I mentioned, transportation is a really large contributor to the greenhouse gas emissions in the city. So this is programs that can help lower those emissions as well as lead to increases in like quality of life. The Commute Smart Raleigh program, offered by the Transportation Department here, works with businesses to develop specialized plans for that business and their employees to have commuting options other than just, say, driving in a car by themselves to work. So things like carpooling or looking at other mobility options. It's really specialized to that business. There's also a program called the Real-Time Transit Information System, which can be put on any screen that shows upcoming transit arrivals or other mobility options. So think this could be on a screen in like a business reception area or in a hotel lobby. As people are walking in and out, they can see what transit is arriving and going.
Is that available through an app?
You can contact the Transportation Department, and I think they have a system that they can put up on the screen, but I would double check on that for you.
So I meant for an individual, if they wanted to ride the bus, there used to be Translock. And I don't know whether we still have that or not. Because they used to use it for the R line, and we don't have that anymore.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there is. You're correct, there was one, but I'm not sure. You used to be able to actually see the bus on your map.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great question, and I can follow up with you, but I'm not totally sure on that. Yeah, so that's the that one. And next is the EV Ready Playbook, which was developed with the City of Raleigh and Advanced Energy. This playbook, we call it, has most things that you could want to know about electric vehicle charging, siting, permitting, planning, so getting these chargers into locations. This can be a really great resource for businesses to offer, for employees and for customers alike. The next category of programs that are offered to businesses are ones that deal with energy efficiency and water and waste reduction, as well as ways for them to cut costs. Duke Energy offers what they call their Business Energy Saver program, which is a way for Duke employees to come out to businesses, offer free energy assessments and recommendations for things like energy efficient lighting, HVAC, chillers, refrigeration equipment, and then they'll pay up to 80% of those upfront costs of the improvements that they identified. Similarly, the Waste Reduction Partners is a program offered by the North Carolina Department of Environmental Quality, where retired engineers come out to business sites and they do personalized on-site assistance with energy, waste, and water use reduction, as well as goal setting. The Environmental Stewardship Initiative, also offered by the NCDEQ, is a way for businesses to get access to technical assistance and training, as well as setting goals for sustainability. And it also offers them opportunities to network with other businesses and do outreach to learn about ways that other businesses are handling challenges and celebrate successes with them. Raleigh Free Fill is a program owned by the city that is a way for businesses to signify that they are a place that community members can come and fill up their reusable water bottle for free. So this is a way for businesses to participate and encourage community engagement, as well as a way to reduce single-use plastic usage across the city and stop plastic from going to our oceans and landfills, wherever else it might end up.
Are those sized for the big ones, the bubblers?
It can be either. It's kind of dependent on the location. So there's locations, all of our community centers are locations, and then there's also participating businesses across the city that if you went on the website, it has specific instructions to that business that they would say you can go up to the barista and ask them to fill it, or there's a location in the back of our restaurant that there's a water fountain. So it kind of is just like dependent on the location. The Solid Waste Services Department in the City of Raleigh offers a business recycling program that is a way for multifamily residential properties, as well as businesses in locations like downtown, to get their recycling picked up. This can obviously help reduce the waste that's headed towards the landfill, as well as cut the garbage costs for those businesses. The county also offers tons of educational resources for businesses specifically around things like waste related to construction and demolition, as well as recycling, reuse, and e-waste that may be created within those businesses. They also offer a grant that funds different projects that businesses or nonprofits want to run with the purpose of reducing their waste. We also, the planning and development in the city of Raleigh has solar permitting guides, which can help residents as well as different commercial uses to get solar panels installed on their property with just a lot more ease. Next couple of programs are related to stormwater and water quality. Raleigh Rainwater Rewards, they call it R3, is a way for projects to get funded that capture and clean rainwater before it can go into local waterways. So things like cisterns, green roofs, rain gardens can all work towards this purpose. And so Raleigh Rainwater Rewards consultants would come out to a business's property, decide what would work best for their property, and then pay for up to 90% of the costs of that. Similarly, the Drainage Assistance Program is a way for issues that are caused by runoff from public streets onto private property to be paid for, so helping with things like flooding and erosion. One more category of programs, a couple more. It's a bit of a whirlwind. The North Carolina Department of Environmental Quality has their Green Travel Program, which is a way to recognize businesses in the hospitality industry, so things like hotels, restaurants, museums, parks, or like big events like fairs and festivals, to be put on a map that increases their visibility for people traveling across the state or like right at home here in Raleigh to visit businesses that are working towards being more sustainable. Right here at home, we offer Raleigh Environmental Awards, which is a way for residents to be celebrated and championed for the sustainability and climate action work that they're doing. It can be an individual, a business, an organization, a nonprofit, and these are actually open right now. There's tons of opportunities to volunteer in the city, and so we encourage businesses and organizations to get involved in their community through volunteer opportunities like volunteering in parks or other departments within the city like police, as well as other city-funded community organizations and agencies. Last one is there's an enrichment fund that nonprofits can apply to enhance their volunteer programs, just encouraging volunteerism as a whole across Raleigh. That was the last program. So here's a quick overview of all the programs that I just listed and the partners that offer these programs. So want to take a moment to thank and recognize all of those different partners that we have. The Sustainable Business Toolkit simply wouldn't exist without them. So we're really grateful for them and all of the great work they do to promote sustainability in Raleigh and at large. This is a link to our toolkit. It's an online resource. We also have some like one-pagers and things like that. So if you wanted to scan it and look at it on your phone, this is a way for you to do so. That's all I have for you. I would love to answer any questions that you have. Like I said, I'm not an expert on all of the programs, but would love to do my best. And also my colleague Jason Harden is here. If I don't know an answer, he might. So thank you all for listening. Yeah.
So I'm so glad to hear about all the diverse projects your department has going on. Thank you, Giovanna. I'm interested to see that with these programs you have, there's not a lot of green growing pieces. I understand that falls to the Parks and Recreation and Greenway Advisory Board, but with your business things that you can help with new facades and whatever, it seems like a great opportunity to incorporate planters or exterior green walls. That's something that's used a lot in other cities that are biophilic cities. So I guess I'd like to see, the environmental sustainability division incorporating more living green things too.
Yeah, that's a great thought. Thank you for that suggestion. We, like you said, don't have a ton of programs that relate to that in our toolkit right now. And as I mentioned, we're not the ones who are starting or running these programs. We're just kind of collecting them all and putting them in one central location for businesses to access. So if there's a program like that, we would love to add it to our toolkit. So we'll look around and make sure that we're not missing something super obvious in the city. And if you know of one, we would love to hear about it. But yeah, that's a great thought. Sorry, yeah, go ahead.
You mentioned that one of the programs was ending at the end of this month. Are there others ongoing, or are there other time-limited ones?
Yeah, so a couple of these are annual programs. None of them are ending for like a final time at the end of their current cycle. So like the facade rehab grant is open right now until the end of January, and then we'll reopen. I think that one's biannual. The Raleigh Environmental Awards, which close in a couple of months, are an annual process. So all of these are like ongoing annual ones.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I know you just said that you guys don't come up with the programs, but one thing I was thinking about when you were going through your list was restaurants are a place where there's a lot of waste, but not necessarily a lot of money to do environmentally friendly things. So is there an opportunity, is there a possibility that whoever does come up with these programs, there could be a grant for, having compostable to-go containers or setting up compost there in partnership with Wake County or like an organization like Compost Now or something like that, just to kind of help them make those choices when they might not necessarily have the money to pay for them to become a part of something like this.
Yeah, no, that's a great thought. Programs like Compost Now are a great way for restaurants and other things like that to get involved. We do want to keep in mind that the toolkit has two purposes: to help businesses become more sustainable and also save money. So yeah, we will certainly look into see if there's ways to kind of enter those programs like Compost Now or other ways to reduce food waste at a lower cost than is kind of like what's in the market right now. But yeah, I'll look into that. Thanks for that suggestion.
Any other questions or comments from other board members? I think some interesting points made here, and that could take it to the next level. I know I'm eager to sometime go to Red Hat Amphitheater and see that the recycling is collected in clear bags rather than black bags, which then get put on a little gator alongside the black bags that contain the trash, and then one has to wonder if there's any real recycling that happens. I have asked Sustainability Office about that question for many years, so maybe one year it'll happen, but I'll bring it up again.
A great question and a worthy cause. We'll be sure to share this presentation with you guys through the staff liaison so that you can have a further look at it. And then I also included my email and Jason's email, so if you have any questions that you wanted to follow up directly with us, we'd be more than happy to yield to those.
Great. Thank you
so
very
much.
much for your time tonight.
The next item is exciting. So
Yeah.
we're fortunate as a department to have really incredible talent in GIS, Geographical Information Systems. Tonight we have Marissa Verbanik, who is one of our GIS analysts who has worked on updating something that's called Park Locator. Mike Gudekunst is the GIS manager for the department. So just to toot their own horns, they've won multiple awards nationally and locally. But they do everything from collecting data from where people participate to creating dashboards on work orders, creating dashboards when we had the recent storms that I was out of town. I could look on my phone and I could see where a tree was down in Raleigh and when and how it was going to be responded to. Today, they're going to focus on Park Locator, which I think all of you can benefit from and help answer questions as being ambassadors of the park system. So I'll turn it over to Mike.
Yeah.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for having us. I think I've got to know a few of you from our old Zoom days back in COVID. I was on a lot of those phone calls, so good to see you again. But yeah, so we're very excited to introduce the new and improved Park Locator. For those that may not be aware, we've had a Park Locator available since 2015. That original one was built by a contractor over in IT, and that no longer is part of the city or working for the city. But that locator, served its purposes as far as being able to search for park experiences and look by amenities and filter by different things that you might want to find, which was great. The technology got a little bit old. The look and feel got a little bit stale, so we wanted to improve it, and I think we did a great job in doing that. So the new Park Locator is built off an Esri technology, which is something we consume on the GIS side of things. And what's great about this is it's something, while it's maybe a little less customizable from a developer standpoint, it's easily maintained. We can adjust it. We can do everything in-house that we want it to do, and we can it's flexible enough where we can change it as necessary as we go forward. The main objectives for this was to build something in the newer technology, update the look and feel of it. We wanted to loosely integrate it with our recreation management system, so if you wanted to search by programming, we had the ability to do that. It's got some other improved functionality as well that Marissa's going to show. Another big piece of this that the old one did not do, it was not responsive to different hardware devices. So the old one you kind of had to use on a computer or a laptop, whereas this one's responsive to tablets or phones. It's not an app that you download. It's browser based, but you can bring it up on your phone and it will filter based off that as well. So the look and feel remains constant, which is great. Marissa is the main architect of this. She's done a fantastic job and something we're proud of. So I'm going to turn it over to her to kind of give a demonstration of it, and we'll take questions after it.
Thanks so much for having us. So this is the Park Locator. When you open it up, this is the main screen. It opens with a splash screen giving just a little bit of information about our park system. And then you can scroll and it gives a very brief how-to introduction. And then to exit, you can click OK or just simply click out of it. So here at the top, we have some different tabs or links that you can click on. So this takes you directly to our news page on RaleighNC.gov, our events page, projects page, etc. And then down here we have an interactive map. So you can scroll in and out or drag and drop. You can use the locate button to find your location. You got to click allow. So you can find your location. You can type in an address or a place. Down here, you have a more in-depth how-to. You can turn on and off different layers. So you can turn off the Raleigh Greenway trails, the park locations, etc. And then to get in depth, we have different tabs over on the side here, so you can filter by the different parks that are available in our system. You can filter by activities or by amenities that you want to search for. So just to give you an example, I'm going to say it's a nice Sunday afternoon. I want to go to a nature preserve, and I want to grill out. And I want to be sure that there's picnic tables and playgrounds. So you can turn on all of these filters. If I scroll out of the map here, you can see that there's only one. And in this list here, you can also see that there's only one. So I'm going to click on More Info. It takes you directly to where the park is on the map. You can scroll through different images or photos of the park. And then you can see all of the amenities that each park has to offer. You can get directions, so if you're close by, you can walk, bike, or take public transit. And if you're further away, you can drive. These links take you to a separate tab of Google Maps. You can see hours of operation and a contact phone number in case you need to call. And then, as Mike mentioned before, this integrates with our rec link. So you can register for activities, and this will filter directly to Durant Nature Preserve or facility rentals. If you need a little bit more information, there's an easy button down here for website or park alerts. But let's say my neighbor told me about a really great park, and I just want to search for it. You can type in the park that you're looking for. You can see it filters on the map, and you can go to More Info. It'll take you again directly to there. You can see all of the different amenities, and if you need a more in-depth amenity list, or just to see what the icons mean, you can click on the amenity legend there. Again, the hours of operation, so this is pulling directly from our web pages. You can see the different facilities that are located at each park. And then this is just a more in-depth example. Pullen Park has a lot of things that you can do that are integrated with RecLink. So you can buy theater tickets, you can rent equipment, or buy amusement tickets. And that is the basic functionalities of the park locator. I'll open it up to questions.
Wow.
All right. Does field status show up anywhere in here?
So field status does not show up in here. We do have a quick link to our park alerts, which allows you to view the status.
I know, because every afternoon I think that's posted, and it's important to many people. Thank you.
Rashawn?
Ms. Carroll.
Oh, Carol.
No, you said.
I wonder if you can do it in reverse. Suppose you're driving around and you're trying to maximize the number of parks you visited because you're on the parks board, and you want to know where the nearest park is, and you can zoom in there and get a feel for it. Does it work that way? Can you say nearest park?
You can use the Locate Me button on your cell phone. So as Mike mentioned earlier, it is just on the browser, so you can access it from your mobile device.
Okay.
And you can use the Locate Me button to direct you to wherever you're at. And then the map will show you the nearest parks to you.
Okay. That's a little more involved than I thought, but thank you.
Which is the locate? I've pulled it up. Is that the little house?
So it's going to be, I think on the mobile version, it's just under the house. It's a little circle with 4 dashes in it.
Okay.
Under the house.
Oh, there it is.
This is amazing, first off. My question is there a filter on this that allows you to look at parks by district?
By council district?
Yeah, council district, yeah. Because what I'm getting at is, like, prime example, for this board, one of our assignments was to visit a park in a different district. Or if somebody's trying to look at a park or figure out where they're at in the city by district-wise, is that a filter up there that allows you to do that?
We don't currently have a filter for that, so we do have a GIS of our council district, so that's something that if it's, if we deem necessary, we could like include on it, but it currently does not part of the park locator.
Okay.
On IMAPS, the county website, you can click on it, it'll show you, yeah.
It's great.
Does the events page also list volunteer? Like, can you sort by volunteer activities on the map?
You currently can't sort by volunteer activities. That's a very good suggestion, though. I'll definitely take that into consideration.
Could we add a link to service?
Yeah.
I think, yeah,
Absolutely.
good suggestion.
So, obviously this is live on our website, so feel free to play around with it. Sorry. Yeah, so this is active on our website now, so feel free to like explore it. And we just we released it about a month ago, kind of a soft launch, and then we're just officially like kind of really announcing it now. So yeah, any feedback you'd like to provide, we're anxious to hear what people think of it.
This is really great. I was just curious, have you guys been tracking like engagement with the website? How many people are visiting it on a regular basis?
We have not. That's not something we've done in the past, but we're going to do that with this new platform. So hopefully we'll have some numbers as we go forward, and we can really promote it.
Any other questions, comments, suggestions? I mean, thank you. It really is a great, great app. And I think some of what you've heard here tonight is constructive and helpful to make it even better. And so thank you for being willing to hear those questions and comments. So thank you very much for the work that went into this. It's really awesome.
Thank you so much for your time.
And next item is director's report.
Yes, good evening. We did not load it, so I will send it out tomorrow, but I would like to yield my time for Ken to come down and talk about today's events. Ken, hopefully he is in here. Oh, he is. He's over my right shoulder. We had a couple of dozen staff participate in hosting the president, and it was led by Ken. Not only our department, but Ken also worked with the Secret Service, but a range of things. It's very impressive, and I'll say this, the president has come to Raleigh twice in 3 years, and both times Raleigh Parks hosted him. So I'll turn it over to Ken.
Yeah, I don't have a slideshow yet. In fact, we weren't allowed to actually show pictures until about 2.5 hours ago. So we really were pretty privileged, pretty blessed to have the opportunity to host the president again today. He and the governor were both there at Abbott's Creek Community Center. At some point, we will get some pictures out so you can see it held basketball games Monday night or Tuesday night, and it didn't host, and now it looks completely different today. It's pipe and drape around presidential stage, press box, CNN, Fox, Peter Ducey. You had to think about all those names. Those are the people who were in our gym today on top of the president. So just for a little bit of fun, Steve and I got a call from our deputy city manager at noon on Monday and said that the White House wanted to hit Raleigh, and the president was looking for a community center. So at 2 o'clock, we were evaluating spaces. At 7 o'clock, I had an advanced team at Abbott's Creek, which included the Secret Service, the White House advanced team. It's about 25 folks, different folks reviewing the space, will accommodate those type of things. And by 8:30 Tuesday morning, they had confirmed, yep, we're coming. So, yeah, that was my reaction. Wow. And so it's really kind of hard to put into words. And Andrea, right behind me, she got the opportunity to experience when we did it the first time, but that was during COVID, so it was a really different experience. So this time it was wide open. And, you know, probably the best way to categorize it, aside from humbling, is probably one of the ones. And I cannot speak more proudly of the city, but I'm going to absolutely be biased about our team here at Raleigh Parks. The word is crush it, is the one that I want to use. Probably no greater compliment than the White House staff coming up to us at the end. And so we were sitting around, I left about 4:30, 5 o'clock, and the team that we work directly with providing 30 volunteers, providing bus transportation, providing IT support. Jeff Dawson ran 4,000 feet of data lines to make sure that all of the news companies there had service. We provided everything from rubber bands to sandwich boards to volunteers to car parkers to buses. Stephen, I think I might get to that 10 if I keep going. Aside from just saying you can come in and work through our space to be able to do this. We're working with engineers. Shawsheen rockstar for me yesterday because I needed an engineer to tell me that they could put their light rig and hang it from our ceiling. And they look at me like, what do you mean? What's the problem? I was like, I don't have an engineer in my back pocket that I can just call to be able to make this happen. But we did. And Stephen and I were just chatting tonight. Probably the most rewarding piece for me, outside of, I will tell you that Robert Stewart and Amanda Cole are the real stars of the event. They run Abbots Creek Community Center. We were the folks who got to greet the president. So when he came in, even for an old guy, being the first to greet and get the first picture with the president along with Amanda and Robert was really pretty. Andre knows this when we did it before. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I got to do it twice in a lifetime. I didn't get the picture last time. Andre was that person, but I got to do it this time. And so, but for the White House to say, without Raleigh Park's help, this doesn't happen in 2 days. And that's what makes me proud. And to see our team just kind of mingling out in the lobby after the press has left, having some snacks, having a bottle of water, and just exhaling. And the other one that I'll just let you too, I could probably talk for 30 minutes. Stephen's like, oh, please stop. You know, just to think about, we had folks that volunteered that had no expectation of being able to participate in the event. It was cold this morning, folks, and we had folks at a WRAL soccer complex. We have a relationship there, and we're able to connect them, so they shuttled everybody in after making a phone call and an email. They were willing to help us, but I had folks, it was about 25 degrees this morning. No expectation, and the White House was like, we want your team to come in. So every one of our staff that volunteered had the opportunity to be part of that experience. And you can put your politics aside. Having the president in your house is just cool. There's really no other way to put it. It's just cool. And they all got to experience it. And I was sitting across the gym watching it. And I was going to go all dad. Like I was a proud dad to see my team across the hall, see our team across the gym with smiles and just enjoying it together. So really, really a really cool celebration.
And some VIPs didn't show up. So we had staff sitting in the front row right in front of the president, you know, a gardener, you know, who would have never had that opportunity gets to sit 20 feet from the president. And yeah, it's couldn't say it more better than Ken did.
Probably in summary, I mean, I spoke a lot about Raleigh Park's transportation, RPD, fire department, IT, like our IT stuff, Robin Deagle in our city communications, absolute citywide effort. I'm bragging, I get it, but we don't pull it off without Raleigh to be proud and have that teamwork where you can pick up the phone and go, I need your help, I need it now, and I need you to drop what you're doing, and people go, yep, I'll do it. Here's the most important part. So the White House Communications Agency, so they have little fancy pins and they all have weapons. It's kind of cool, Secret Service guys you're hanging out with. They needed our help in a big way. And this guy, Chris, don't know his last name. He worked for the Secret Service, but he texted me yesterday. He's like, hey, send me the names of all the guys who helped make my life easier. And I said, okay, I'll do it. I left today, and he handed me one of these certificates for each of them.
Oh, wow.
And this is official stuff. So this is from the White House Communications Agency. And this isn't just like he pulled one off the shelf and said, let me make this. So let me read it to you. Certificate of Appreciation to Ken. He spelled my name wrong. Even put in the name. But that's beside the point. I didn't recognize that until I looked at it and I was like, We're not hanging that one on the wall. But
Yeah.
it's going to go pretty
Mine
proudly.
gets misspelled
but
all
it
the
says, and I just brought mine because I wanted the other folks to get theirs and separated. So it says, the members of the White House Communications Agency wish to express our sincere appreciation for the outstanding manner in which you provided support to the President of the United States during his visit to Raleigh, North Carolina. Your unique abilities, coupled with your superb attitude and unparalleled professionalism, enabled our agency to provide critical communications for the President, the First Lady, the White House staff, and the United States Secret Service. Sincerely, Christopher Figueroa, Presidential Communications Officer, date January 18th, 2024, and it has the seals on it. So this is the kind of stuff that Raleigh Parks does. We do really cool summer camp and aquatics and museums and master plans and all that. We can host the president, and we've done it twice. So really proud day for all of us. So.
Can I?
Yes.
Very proud of every one of you. And I used to travel on the other side of that with the White House advance team.
Okay.
And what you've seen is the behavior that I used to admire the most was the intention of overachieving. If I ever had to manage anything, there wasn't any slack. Every individual involved was overachieving, and I was having to say, okay, we got it, thank you for being here. But people get inspired like that. It's fantastic, and it's a really good feeling to see it all work. And when the big airplane goes and somebody says, wheels up, you all applaud and get them by that way.
Bob, let me talk about overachieving because I couldn't agree more. Robert and Amanda left the building last night at 12:45.
And you wait for wheels up, right?
They were back there this morning at 6:30 because that was what time the team needed to be there to reopen it.
Mm-hmm.
And Robert Stewart lives in Granville County.
Well,
so that's,
we'll do it again.
That is overachievement, and you can't teach it. It's just, you're just humbled to be a part of it.
People get energized and want
Absolutely, 100%.
How did you guys pick Abbott's Creek?
We did.
we influenced it. And I promise I'll be as brief as, so ultimately it's their desires. We try to meet what they need with the spaces that we have available. Just to get a little bit into the sausage making, we started out at, they wanted Briar Creek, not a great opportunity given our relationship with the school system, parking, it just wasn't going to be a good fit. We started our tour on Monday at Lake Lynn, too big. They were like, that's too big, but they were looking really proximity to the airport and easy travel for the president to get in and out. And so my next suggestion, and we'd already talked about this on the phone, was would you like to check out Abbott's Creek? You can drive along 540. It was a single gym is what they were looking for. So it's really a matter of listening and then providing, this is what we have that meets your requirements. And they looked at it, and Stephen shared this with me later, that coming back to Raleigh, we did such a good job the first time that that's why they were like, in the short period of time, they thought they could accomplish this.
Yeah, saying we did it twice, the city manager said her White House contact, who basically gave us advance notice, I think Sunday night, said, we want to work with Parks and be in a community center again. So that says a lot about our team.
Yes, it does. You should be very proud.
Yeah. It definitely says a lot. If you think about it, I'm not very thinking about it. Like the president could have picked any city within the state of North Carolina, and he chose the city of Raleigh and the Parks Department. So that's just amazing. Flabbergasted, but it's awesome.
Congratulations. That's congratulations and thank you. And thanks to all those people on your staff that pulled it through. And so kudos. Kudos.
And the last one, they all got to take pictures at the lectern before they left.
The thing, they got to go up to the presidential lectern, which comes in its own box. You're not supposed to touch.
You can't touch it.
Yeah, like all 30 of our staff got to stand up on stage and stay where the president did and get their picture taken.
Very cool. Yeah, I hope that picture will make it into some of our social media because.
All four of our.
Because actually, one thing is the only, and this isn't a negative, but it was all happened so fast that I don't even think a lot of citizens even realized that the president was here and gone. So the more we show that it happened where it happened, that's and especially highlighting staff, that's very cool.
Do you think we can get a large picture printed in the community center of this event?
Not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Another good idea tonight. Yeah.
Yeah. That's great.
We took a team picture
Yeah.
after everything was over.
The whole parks team.
Bob, you know, security's pretty crazy. So they're like, you can go there. So after everybody left, they let us take
All right. Do you have some other things you want to share with us, Mr. Director?
I'll email and I'll cover it on Saturday.
Oh, okay. All right. Parks Committee. Don't sit down.
Where's Chris? Emma's really the activist, so I'm just the guy who facilitates the conversation. Parks Committee was really productive. So I'm going to make sure I get it because it's been a whirlwind the past couple of days. Reviewed some kind of initial concept design alternatives related to Kyle Drive the Kyle Drive plan for the Neuse River plan. Nothing that was really concrete that we were looking through, but it was really just getting the Parks Committee. Here's some some initial things that we're looking at, get some feedback from the Parks Committee, still going through the next processes. So I think it was a good productive use of our time there. One of the things they did, and I don't have my notes in front of me, I apologize, is we talked about in the Parks Committee, one of the questions they've been looking at is how do we break out our demographics for how we get answers on feedback from, let me say that different, Beverly, because I'll make sure I get this right. How do we get our representation on our CAG? That was more of the conversation, because that gap in the adult takes everybody from me to some of the people I just worked with who are in their who are in their mid-20s. And so how do we break those ranges out? And I believe, Emma, we agreed to use the city demographics to be able to do that. So as we think about community advisory groups moving forward, how do we break that representation down into smaller segments so we get the 20s, the 30s, the 40s,
And to back up just a little bit and give everybody a little context, because if you weren't on the Parks Committee, you might not have been through this process. If we were selecting people for these community groups, that the category, as Ken just said, was basically 21 to age 54, and we, as we were selecting people, we said, that's too big of a, and then it was 55 to 75 or something. I mean, it was just two groups, and it wasn't fine enough, and
we were trying to reduce, the fatigue in answering all of those questions for the application for the community advisory group. But since we did that, the city has now rolled out standardized demographic questions. It's the same for boards, commissions, and so we'll just be following those for community advisory groups from now forward. One thing that Ken skipped was the schedule updates for Kyle Drive Park and Neuse River Park as well. So we have a little bit of an accelerated timeline now for both master plans. For Kyle Drive Park, we are going to be targeting July Parks Board, coming to you guys with the final master plan. Most of what we've cut out of the process is kind of shortening our internal review periods. We have been previously kind of giving everybody a couple weeks to look at stuff, but we're going to be utilizing charrette-style meetings moving forward, so pulling everybody to the table at once, getting everybody to review it all at once, and kind of moving forward quickly that way. Kyle Drive, we are, it's a small site, 25 acres. It's very straightforward. Most of it's a wetland. We have a really great community advisory group, and so as we move into design alternatives in the next phase, we're going to accelerate the process and rely on feedback from the community advisory group pretty heavily and from an online survey. And we are not going to have a standalone in-person public workshop for design alternatives. We will still have it for the draft concept plan, and we'll still do event tabling throughout it, but just also to kind of help with that acceleration. Neuse River Park, we are targeting September Parks Board, and we did not cut any public meetings from that process, just kind of accelerating the timeline with those charrette-style internal review meetings now. So yeah.
Thank you. And it's exciting to, I know it's hard puts more pressure on staff, but to compress the time frame from when the bond was passed last November a year ago. So to actually speed it all up so that people who actually voted on things get to feel like they're in the swing, so to speak, I think is a really important step for the city. And so thank you all
We're
for that.
excited to start construction too, so we're jazzed as well.
Yeah, good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Fred Fletcher Volunteer Committee, I know that met. Ms. Love, will you give us a report? Right.
I don't really need it.
Yes, you.
I would use it for the appropriateness of what is expected. Okay, I have a Parks and Rec voice and a teacher voice, so that's like extra. Okay, so the report is the time is kind of coming quickly. So we met the other night at the Kiwanis Park, and we talked about the timeline, and hopefully, I know everybody sitting here didn't get the minutes yet, but I will send those before the end of this meeting. We need to meet again on the 13th, and before the 13th, we actually need to have reviewed the people who have been nominated. Today is the 18th, and the nominations close on January 26th. So we're definitely on a bullet train here. So we're hoping that people will nominate, tweet, X, whatever that is now, all of those things so that we can get those volunteers nominated so we can start going through all of that information and have some choices and have those opportunities for Mary to contact the winners and all of those things that go for it. So all we really need for people to do is volunteer to review the information and definitely be willing to present at the event. And again, the minutes have everything broken down with the expectation, with the pictures and all of the things, the time you need to be there. So in the minutes, there's also a link that has it all spelled out with the access to the folders that have everything broken down. So if your big picture, we have it like if you need the details, all of it's there. But when you get the minutes, that link will literally open up all the folders, but the minutes also have the dates broken out. So everything you really need to know is already on the minutes.
Right, and you want to restate so that the date of the Fred Fletcher Awards.
Yes, their awards are actually going to be, hold on, it's 2 pages. Let me scroll down. On May the 14th. So that's a Tuesday night. And just a little bit of the reason is because the 9th was not available due to some other events at the theater. So if you're looking back at the past, it will be on the 14th instead, and it's a Tuesday night. And we need you all to dress to impress, be on time,
Yeah, that is, since we have a number of new board members, we'll just say now, if there's any command performance, as chair, I really consider that a command performance because we are honoring the people who help make our parks and activities better, from athletic coaches to people who are weekly gardeners to all kinds of other activities. So be sure to have that on your calendar now. And it's a fun event with dessert following, and people are there with their families and everything else.
And again, it's a really big deal because the families come out and they get to take pictures, and you will, as a board member, if you agree to present, you'll get to meet whomever that, call them, have coffee with them, or do a phone call or a Zoom call so that you can do an better than adequate job, because you might not know them, but highlighting why they're getting the award. And then we take pictures on the stage. So it's a real big deal. So you want to dress to impress. It starts at 7, but we need to be there by 5:45. And again, all of these details will be provided in the minutes.
It's kind of like Academy Awards, in my opinion, except a whole lot more friendly and warmer and joyous.
And so nominations are, as April said, are being accepted through the 26th, and then the meeting, and we probably need, 3 or 4 or 5 people on the 13th, and you will have gotten the award nomination pieces, and then that's when we make the selections. So keep those dates, and you'll get it all from April.
Yeah, but the 13th definitely is when we'll meet again in person at Kiwanis Club, so we can get all the people shored up so we can divide and conquer all the labor and the contacts.
Great. Thank you for taking that on. And Greenways Committee, any other questions or anything on Fred Fletcher, just because we have new folks? No. Okay, Greenways Committee?
A few updates. Crabtree Creek West, the contractor's remobilizing. We do not have a completion date yet.
Remobilizing and starting in February.
Starting back in February.
Yep.
Should have a completion date in a month.
Yeah, I would say when they start in February, that's what they committed to us, was when they get started, they'll say, this is our end date. Yep.
Okay. Our interrupted connections plan, we have released the markers to design and hope to have them in place in the next 4 to 6 months. And our next focus will be the system-wide signage plan.
Yep. Any questions about the Greenway Committee meeting?
The only thing I would add is I'm meeting with the Office of Innovation about how to continue the next steps on some of the things that you all saw during the Innovation Lab. So, and once I get that, I'll reach back out to Jeff and talk about how some of those improvements on the web can be made. So.
Cool. Sustainability, Wildlife, and Urban Trees Committee.
Yes, we had a enriching meeting this month, and so we came up with our work plan for the year ahead. We had a very interesting guest speaker, Maggie Bailey, who talked about a program, nonprofit organization, a program that she's been doing for several years called We Plant It Forward. And she gives away trees and teaches people how to plant trees, and was delightful to have her. And they do things with Earth Day and Arbor Day, and Zach Maynor put her in touch with us, and we found it really interesting what she's doing. So we talked about a tree bank program, that's something that the city may consider doing. And one of the things that we've done this past year is have someone come and talk with us about solid waste, as far as having a zero waste system. And Carrie's got a system like that going, where citizens can take compost material to a facility that the town of Cary provides, and the food waste goes to become fertilizer, compost. And there's some funds for invasive plant removal, and there's going to be Dix Park planting trees for Earth Day this year. So that's what I have to share from that committee meeting.
Very good. Thank you. Any questions or comments for that committee? All right, the liaison representatives, Arts Commission and PADB, that's Chris, and he is not here, so we don't have a report. Bicycle Pedestrian and Advisory Commission did not meet in December and would have met this Monday, but it was MLK, so it is meeting next Monday. Historic Cemeteries Advisory Board. Do we have Mr. Craig to report to us?
All right. Good evening, everyone. I'm Charles Craig, one of the assistant directors for Raleigh Parks. Here's the report. The board did not meet in December. We didn't have a formal meeting. However, we did participate in the boards and commission holiday social that took place on December 14th at 6:30 p.m. That was a really fantastic event. I was not able to attend, unfortunately, but I did hear about it, so thank you for the invitation. We are planning on meeting Next week, with our scheduled meeting, it's going to be on January 25th, which is a Thursday. We always meet around 5:30 p.m. This meeting is going to be a unique meeting because we are onboarding a new member, and we're also going to be providing some dinner as we continue to work on our work plan and look at the upcoming season. So it's going to be a kind of a different meeting, but nevertheless, it will be fantastic. The board was able to host a members-only tour that took place on January 5th, 2024. This is for some of our new members to be able to go out and our current members to look at some of the things we've been talking about, and some of the things we've been working on to visually go out, touch it, walk it, so that when we get back into the meeting, everyone know what we're talking about, and we can come up with innovative ideas to continue to move the city forward with our historic cemeteries. So that concludes my report. Are there any questions?
Any questions for Mr. Craig? No, and one of the things you're working on is more trees at Mount Hope.
Absolutely.
That'll be wonderful. There were so many trees destroyed there with the tornado back in April of 2011. So
Yes.
it'll
Thank you.
Works well with SWAT committee. Dick's Leadership Committee, I have no report there because it did not meet in December, but meets next Tuesday. Historic Resources and Museum Advisory Board, is that?
We did meet it
Okay.
as well.
And the Parks Bond Community Engagement Liaison Reports.
Updated sheet is attached.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yep.
Attached.
In board docs.
Oh,
Yep.
it
Yeah.
is? Okay,
Yep.
because Mr. Etheridge and I were trying to figure out something that we're on that we hasn't met yet, so
Okay.
we'll check that
Okay.
together. Good. Chair comments. We have a retreat on Saturday morning, and it is at, I'm blanking. Green Road. Thank you. Whew. Because I knew there'd been a couple of places discussed, and I had those all in my head and not the actual location. We'll be doing two things. We will be looking at our work plan and getting sort of a mid-year, pretty close to a mid-year update on what we've accomplished in the different areas, and begin to brainstorm about the things that we want to be looking at in the year ahead. So that I hear SWAT committee is working on that, and other committees will have the opportunity to do that. The other thing we're going to do is sort of a gap analysis, looking at what our respective interests are. So be thinking about why, we've talked about at this table before about why did we want to join the Parks Board. But we've gotten lots of reports on what we do, we being the staff, what they do. And so now we want to kind of look and see take a snapshot of this board, and we'll be looking at it in terms of people, as people roll off this board and new people, and making that we continue to have coverage in different areas so that we are always carrying on the information that we've gained and stay broadly focused board and come that everybody's a Greenway advocate, everybody's one thing or the other, but that we have that understanding of what the park. So we'll have a little exercise to go through on that, and start at 9, and we'll have some snacks, wrap up by 1:30, and get on with your bit old Saturday. So hopefully the heat's hit Green Road. If not, we know you'll have it done. But thank you.
Beverly, for the navigationally challenged like myself, the address is 4201 Green Road.
Yeah, it's kind of behind the Lowe's and things on, or Home Depot on, that are on Capitol Boulevard, not far from there. So. Yeah. In the
You say, Emma?
don't go to that library. It's right very close by. Yeah, yeah, they're adjacent, and Green Road is always an early voting site. I have worked many times. I know we're not to stand. So other than that, one other thing is we have a new member of the Parks Board with us, Kate Dixon. And I don't know that I introduced Ian, although he joined us in October. And so that'll be one of the nice things about Saturday is that it's not a super formal process. This is for us to also be able to chat with staff, to listen and hear from them, because we really want to align our work plan goals with city strategic plan. And so we need to know what's happening there. And so it'll be more interaction with staff and interaction with each other. So it should be a very informal and pleasant time. And welcome to our newest board members. Any other topics of questions, comments, someplace somebody's been that they need to tell us? Giovanna?
In Kenzie's report from sustainability, she mentioned the environmental awards. Well, I received my email today regarding they need someone from this board to represent on the jury to select the winners for the Raleigh Environmental Awards. And the jury night is going to be held March 14th from 4 to 6 in conference room 303. The applications close March 1st, and once the applications close, then they'll send the packet out to the individual that wants to serve for this, to represent the PRGB. So if you know.
What day of the week does that 14th fall on?
March 14th. It's a Thursday.
Yep.
The second Thursday.
Thank you.
So if anyone is willing to serve, you can either let me know tonight or you can email me and I'll send your name and email over and they'll get the information to you.
What was that date again?
March 14th.
And you'll get the application or things
packet,
about
yeah.
packets about a week before. So that's that 2-week time frame to review. So, but you can let Giovanna know that people can look at their calendars and talk about that on Saturday. All right. Anything else for this meeting? And I really want to commend staff on accelerating and compressing the plan. I think that is really from the CAGs and everybody else, that's going to be exciting to see that happen more quickly. That's really kind of building new parks is a real key element of what we do. And so, thank you. All right, this meeting is adjourned.